A young woman sat alone in a room. She was dressed as a bride. Outside, relatives waited. Inside, she stared at her phone. The man she loved had promised he would arrive that day. He never did. For months, she had believed his promises. For months, she had trusted him. She thought the wedding would end her suffering and begin a new chapter of her life. But as the minutes passed, hope slowly turned into fear. The phone remained silent. The door never opened, and the future she had imagined began to disappear before her eyes. Then came one final video call. A call that would change everything. On the other side of the screen was a man she once trusted. A man she believed would stand beside her. Instead, according to reports, that final conversation became one of the most disturbing moments in a tragedy that shocked Pakistan. Less than an hour later, a young life filled with dreams was gone. A daughter, a sister, a student who wanted to become a doctor, gone forever. What happened that day was not the result of a single moment. It was the end of a dark journey filled with secrets, alleged manipulation, emotional trauma, and digital blackmail. A journey that began with trust and ended with heartbreak. This is the story of Muzammil Shahzadi, a story that serves as a warning for anyone living in the digital age. A story about love, betrayal, and the deadly consequences of online exploitation. This is The Deadly Video Call. The Deadly Video Call. The Muzammil Shahzadi story. Genre: true crime documentary. Tone: suspenseful, emotional, investigative, cautionary. Opening hook: a young woman sat alone in a room. She was dressed as a bride. Outside, relatives waited. Inside, she stared at her phone. The man she loved had promised he would arrive that day. He never did. Less than an hour later, she placed a video call that would shock an entire nation. What happened next transformed a private heartbreak into one of Pakistan's most disturbing stories of alleged digital blackmail, manipulation, and betrayal. This is the story of Muzammil Shahzadi, a 21-year-old student, a daughter, a sister, a dreamer, and the victim at the center of a tragedy that serves as a warning for the digital age. Scene 2, a dream of a better future. In the town of Allahabad, located in Kesar district, life moved at a slower pace. Families knew one another, reputations mattered, and opportunities were hard-earned. Among the young people trying to build a better future was Muzammil Shahzadi. She was a first-year pre-medical student with ambitions of becoming a doctor. Friends and family described her as intelligent, hardworking, and devoted to those she loved. Her family was large: 6 sisters, 1 brother, parents who worked tirelessly to provide for their children. For Muzammil, education wasn't just a personal goal. It was a pathway to a better life for everyone she cared about. But sometimes the greatest dangers enter our lives disguised as trust. Only a few steps away from her home lived a classmate named Amir Shamshad. At first, they shared conversations, then friendship, then, according to reports, a relationship that both families did not openly know about. Like many young couples navigating cultural expectations, they allegedly kept the relationship private. What seemed like a secret romance would eventually become the center of a devastating storm. Scene 3, the night everything changed. According to investigation reports and statements provided by family members, a critical turning point occurred on February 1st, 2026. That night, while most of the family slept, an intruder allegedly entered the home. Reports indicate the individual was masked and armed. Family members later told investigators they believed the intruder was Amir. Authorities would later examine those allegations as part of the investigation. But regardless of who entered that home, one thing became clear. After that night, Muzammil's life was never the same. According to family statements and media reports, private images and videos were allegedly recorded without her consent. Those images would become the foundation of what investigators later examined as a possible blackmail scheme. For many victims, the fear of exposure can become more powerful than the crime itself, and that fear now surrounded Muzammil every day. Scene 4, love becomes leverage. The relationship that once appeared to offer comfort allegedly became a source of pressure. The demands, according to reports, did not arrive all at once. They came gradually. A request here, a favor there. then money, then expensive gifts, then more money. Family members later alleged that threats were made involving the release of private material online. Each demand carried the same terrifying implication: pay, or your life will be exposed. According to accounts provided by relatives, Muzammil tried desperately to keep the situation under control. She reportedly handed over personal belongings, jewelry, savings, even items that carried deep emotional and religious significance within the family. But blackmail rarely ends when demands are met. The more a victim gives, the more power the blackmailer often believes they possess. And the pressure continued to grow. Scene 5, a mother's last attempt. Eventually, the burden became too heavy to carry alone. Muzammil told her family. The secret was finally out. Her mother decided there was only one path forward: marriage. If the relationship was genuine, perhaps it could be formalized. Perhaps the suffering could end. According to family accounts, Muzammil's mother visited Amir's family home. She hoped for understanding, compassion, a solution. Instead, she reportedly encountered rejection. Family members later stated that the proposal was dismissed and that hurtful remarks were made. The meeting ended without resolution, yet hope remained. According to reports, Amir allegedly promised that he would marry Muzammil on February 13th. The family clung to that promise. Muzammil clung to that promise. It became the light at the end of a very dark tunnel. Scene 6, the day of the wedding. February 13th arrived. The day she had been waiting for. The day she believed would finally bring peace. Preparations were made. Guests gathered. Family members waited. And Muzammil dressed as a bride. Hours passed. The clock continued to move. But the groom never arrived. Calls went unanswered. Messages received no reply. The promise that had carried her through months of fear and humiliation appeared to collapse before her eyes. For Muzammil, it was more than rejection. It was the destruction of the future she had imagined. And then came the final call. Scene 7, the video call. The events that followed remain among the most disturbing aspects of this case. According to reports, Muzammil contacted Amir one final time. She was devastated, emotionally exhausted, running out of hope. During the conversation, reports allege that another demand for money was made, an amount that her family says they cannot afford. Then the conversation took an even darker turn. According to investigation records cited in media reports, when Muzammil spoke about ending her life, she allegedly received no comfort, no reassurance, no attempt to stop her. Instead, investigators examined allegations that she was challenged to carry out the act while connected through a video call. Shortly before 11:15 a.m., she reportedly spoke her final words: Allah Hafiz, goodbye. Moments later, tragedy unfolded. A young life filled with promise was gone, and a family was left shattered. Scene 8, the investigation. News of the incident spread rapidly. Public outrage followed. Questions emerged. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Who was responsible? What role did digital blackmail play? Authorities launched an investigation. According to reports, Amir was later arrested. Additional allegations involving family members and questions regarding influence and pressure also surfaced in media coverage. As legal proceedings moved forward, the case became the focus of national discussion. The public demanded answers and justice. Scene 9, the bigger lesson. But this story is larger than one criminal investigation. It is about the dangers that can emerge when trust is exploited. It is about the devastating impact of digital coercion. And it is about the silence that often surrounds victims of online abuse. Every year, thousands of people around the world become targets of sextortion, cyber harassment, and digital blackmail. Many suffer alone. Many fear judgment. Many believe nobody will help them. That belief is exactly what predators depend upon. If someone threatens you with private photos, videos, or messages, remember this: you are not alone. You are not powerless. And your life is worth infinitely more than any digital threat. Speak to someone you trust. Contact law enforcement. Report the crime. Seek professional help. The shame belongs to the blackmailer, never to the victim. Outro: Muzammil Shahzadi's story ended far too soon. But perhaps her story can save another life. If this documentary helped raise awareness, please consider subscribing, sharing, and helping others recognize the warning signs of digital manipulation and online extortion. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, no mistake, no secret, and no threat is worth losing your life over. Thank you for watching.